Welcome to the Wrexham Coffee Matchup. I'm Dave.
And I'm Courtney. Each week, we'll take a few minutes to catch up on the latest news from Wrexham. From matchups to transfers, on and off the pitch, we'll share our takes on it all.
So grab a coffee and join us.
Hey Dave, welcome back.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm good. Has it only been a week? It feels like, maybe it's just me, it feels like it has been so much longer.
I think because we had two very big, exciting matches, but also because I think we're getting into the holiday season here. And I know life is just starting to get a little bit crazy for everybody. And so I think between work and matches and life and everything just going,
That's true.
Kind of how it. But we had a good week this week, didn't we?
We did. We had we had a good, an interesting midway result to the week. We had our Wednesday evening match on Portsmouth, and in true form, I fell asleep at halftime. It was just, we've had a couple of matches that have come on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Friday evening, and I've actually been really great at staying awake. And in part, it's just because of how much excitement there is. We'd been playing well, or we're playing well, and there's Mark Griffiths commentating. And so you have just this, very, excited feel. There's just a buzz. And I felt like we had a little bit of a slow start. We started to get into a groove in the first half. There was a Portsmouth injury. It just felt like stop and go and stop and go and stop and go. We had a couple of weeks ago. And I think because I just didn't feel like there was so much momentum, I just I drifted off a bit, I've got to say. What were your thoughts? Did you watch the match?
I did watch the match. So I came in very hopeful because we had an unchanged lineup from our victory at Coventry. So I thought, okay, we're going to capitalize on the previous victory and we're going to bring that team and we're going to show them. And I agree with you. There was definitely a lot of fits and starts. We had some chances in the first half, some nice chances. O'Brien, Moore, Sheaf all had really good opportunities. But like you said, the energy was just not there and we weren't able to close on those goals, right? So in the second half, we brought Dobson in the second half, and then Broadhead and Thomason came in later in the second half. And even though they brought a little bit of new momentum, it didn't really change the energy much and not enough. So I think the game really came down to Arthur and the defense were the real heroes that day because Arthur was just doing everything he could, and the defense was doing everything they could to at least prevent the other team from scoring when we weren't able to make our opportunities. Yeah, it's
which is a bit of a theme.
It is the theme. But like you said, there's 46 matches in a season, and everyone can't be the most exciting match. So some days you just kind of take the point and go home. And I think we're glad to do that because at least we have not lost. And we haven't lost a match in several matches now. And I think even a draw is good momentum as long as we're really solidifying the defense. And I think that Arthur has really, really stepped up since he's come back into the first place goalie position. And I think he's grown a lot this season as well, too. So it's kind of exciting to watch that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there was I think we can just sum up this whole first match and then move on to Saturday's match.
Okay.
My favorite quote on social media that I saw from the entire match: "Let's just burn the yellow jerseys already. Stick with the red. The blue and white stripes are nice. Forget about the yellow because they don't seem to go our way when we wear them yet."
That's true. I know other people have other thoughts about it as well, including the socks, and I would say it's not my favorite kit. But all right.
And then you kind of forget that you're not watching Brazil play in the middle of the match, right?
Or choose one of many other teams as well. You definitely don't remember necessarily that you're watching Wrexham play, especially if, as we've seen, the other team is wearing red.
So we're going to do a quick fast forward to Saturday. And so we had our Charlton match on Saturday at the racecourse. So as I mentioned last time, that this was the first time that Charlton has come since the victory that we had over them in April, which secured our back-to-back-to-back promotion. So I know that they were coming in wanting to really make a statement against us, especially how well they're doing this season. They're really on
Absolutely.
fire. And their manager likes to refer to Wrexham as the circus and feels that we're showy and we've got the Hollywood money and they're the better team. And so they came in wanting to fight back. But so we had 4 changes in the starting lineup from Wednesday, which I think really just reflects the depth of our squad. So we had Dobson, Thomason, Ryan Longman, and Nathan Broadhead in at the starting lineup. The first half, really excellent defense from both sides, right? I felt like we were evenly matched on the offense and that the defensive were really just keeping the action at 0-0, kind of preventing any opportunities from goals from both sides getting in. And then we came into the second half. I think that a little bit of a lighting of the fire happened in the room during the halftime, because we really came out on fire and really wanted to put this game away.
Sure.
And it even helped that the substitutions at the 67th minute, we had Windass come in. We had McLean, who made his 100th appearance with the team. He came in as well, and O'Brien came in. And I think that energy just helped convert. It did lead to the goal that happened, which it was an interesting thing because I was watching along with everybody, and there was a handball called in the penalty box, and then they proceeded to not show the replay. And the commentators were going on about how they didn't see the handball, and it appears that most of the crowd didn't see the handball, and some of the other players didn't see the handball. And so they went into this penalty kick situation against a penalty that most people didn't see. And so I think it tampered the enthusiasm a bit because Windass made a beautiful penalty goal. But there wasn't really much of a celebration afterwards. It was more just, okay, let's keep going and move on. So it was a little bit of a strange thing. And I did finally see, when I watched the extended highlights replay, I was able to see what the call was. And it was still, it was an odd call that you probably had to be within 5 or 10 feet of that person to be able to make that call. And I'm glad they made it because we were able to get the goal and we were able to get the win. But it would have been nice.
And we've had so many calls this season that have not gone our way. So to have one in a really critical moment, I'll take it.
Right. Absolutely true. So, so I know that you weren't able to watch the full match live, but were you able to catch up on the recaps?
I watched the extended highlights. I watched it with a different commentator. I don't know if it's the person who does it on Sky. But one of the first things that was mentioned in the part of the clip, a player from the Charlton team is named Carey, and he said, Carey's full of goals. And I thought, yeah, but Arthur's full of saves. And I think that has been something that is very true really throughout, particularly the last several games. I saw that handball call. They did, like you said, on the extended highlights, they played it maybe twice. I rewound it and tried to watch it twice more. I do think it was a bit of a dubious call, but I also think it was a very strange, poor choice to jump like this with your hands over your head in that part of the box. So you're going to call attention to it. So yeah, all around, it was just very strange. I tried to watch the hands. I tried to watch the ball to see if I could see a deflection. I couldn't. There weren't other camera angles that were shown, at least in the extended highlights. So a dubious call, but a dubious choice from the Charlton player at that point.
But it was interesting that during the live match, just to your point, during the live match, fact that they didn't show the replay was very bizarre because they showed the goal 3 times, but they didn't go back and show the replay. And I think there's even the people in the control box were a little confused at that moment. So.
Yeah, I can understand. And you don't want well, I was gonna say you don't want to add fuel to the fire, but I guess no one in the stadium is seeing that anyways. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, I will say one thing that stood out to me in watching, the 10 or 11 minutes was just great goalkeeping all around.
Mhm.
There were some great opportunities from both sides and some really excellent saves. So my question for you, having watched it, would you say Arthur was man of the match?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that yes, we had some great opportunities and there wasn't any serious mistakes by any of the players on our teams. They were just up against a really solid defense. But I'd say it was
Yeah.
the same on Charlton's side. Is like they played very, very
Hmm.
well. They showed the team that they've turned into being. It's a really good championship team. But Arthur really
Yeah.
just was on fire and he was deflecting from movement to movement to movement. And without him being on peak form, we very easily could have let one or
Yeah.
two of those goals in, and it would have been a different story that
Or
we'd be
more.
talking about. Yes, or more.
Yeah.
And it could have gone both
There was
ways,
a
like you said. But I,
really, yeah.
but definitely, Arthur was the standout of. I think not just this match, but he probably was the standout at the Portsmouth match as well, too,
Yeah.
because he's
Hmm.
really just. Without him there, we don't know that we would have been able to go with a clean sheet two times.
Sure. Yeah. There was a really fantastic late save that I would say knocked him down, literally knocked him down. And I couldn't tell if it was an injury. I hope not. So this is an honest question to you, or if it was just relief. Like, oh my God, I saved that.
It was hard to
But I
tell
think that,
because
okay.
I think he jarred him. I think he jarred himself on the way down. I don't think he injured himself. I think it was just there was a lot of momentum
Okay.
and energy into that, and then when he hit the ground, it was kind of like the oh boy, and then wait, am I okay here? But he did get
Right.
right back
Okay.
up. He got right back up, and it wasn't like some of those
Not something
previous.
that we need.
Well, we've seen him knocked down and injured a couple times in the
Yeah.
past, and
We
it
have.
wasn't like that. It was more
Yeah.
just okay. Let's just take a moment and maybe run out the clock a little bit, and then we can
Also,
get back going.
9 minutes, I think I heard of added
Ah,
time.
it wasn't, and no one can understand why. And a little scary
Yeah.
part was that towards the end of that 9 minutes, or like around 6 minutes into that, um, Moore was taken down again. And we know how they love to take down Moore in every chance. Every team has been trying to take him down every chance they can
Yeah.
get. And he, in protective mode, got up and he left the field and kind of walked around the pitch
Mhm.
to get off. And they brought on Sam Smith. And the question was, hopefully one, that he's not injured, and two, would he actually be
Yeah.
able to make it all the way around the field before the extra time ended, or would he be stuck somewhere in the middle? But apparently he's fine,
Okay.
so which is good. So,
That's good. Hearing no injury news is very good. We are going into the international break. So we have a little bit of time for some of the players who aren't being called up to recover. But where do we stand now?
so we've ended the first. So we finished 15 matches of the season out of 46. So we're right at the like 1/3 point. We're
Mhm.
currently 13th in the table. So we did raise a few points in the table. But it's worth pointing out, similar to what you said last week, noting that we're only 6 points out of third place. So
Mhm.
it's a very tight top half of the field. But we're
Yeah.
also only 6 points out of 19th place. So
Yeah.
two wins or two losses in either direction can really put you at the top of the table or at the bottom of the table at this point. So
Yeah.
it's really what happens when we come back. We've come back in later November, and we have a string of matches all the way through. The next international break isn't until March, so that's really
Mhm.
when I think the season's going to take change and take shape. But what I
Yeah.
did notice, I think what we're seeing is that we're finally, as the squad has gelled, the squad knows who it is. Parky knows what he has, and he's really starting to take advantage of rotating the depth through the squad
Mhm.
rotation. So, I mean, 4 changes from Wednesday to Saturday, but not a significant change in the quality of play. And I
Yeah,
think that's the same when we've seen the defenders, where they've been rotating in and out the defenders. For the most part, it's like any one of the options that we have available will be giving it their all and doing the best that they can do. And I think we still have a really strong squad no matter what, which is, I know what
hmm,
Parkey intended to build when he put together a championship squad.
absolutely.
And he's
I'd
done a
love to
successful
see
job.
a bit more depth up front
Yeah.
because we've got Moore and Windass, and that really is head and shoulders, literally above the rest. Um,
Right.
I'd love to see more depth there, but I think that
Yeah.
also is probably just a matter of time.
I did see some commentary a couple weeks ago where it appears in Parky style that he has built the team around the big guy up front, which is Moore, right?
Yeah,
And I think it is a little bit, I don't know if I'd say scary, but there isn't really
but
anyone
it
on the
is.
squad. There isn't anyone on the squad who could replace him should anything happen to him, right? With that
Exactly.
same set of
Like
skills. Yeah.
like one of these takedowns takes him out.
Right. And then when you bring in someone like Sam Smith, he's fast and he's got energy, but he's not the high leaper, pull the ball and draw the ball up to the front kind of player. And so you have to shift your playing style. And they did,
Hmm.
and the commentator I was listening to pointed out that in previous seasons we had a backup, right? So last year Ollie Palmer was our big guy and Fletcher was his backup, right? So Fletch could play the same role
But
that Ollie,
solid.
but
Yeah,
solid, and you wouldn't even notice, if you swap the two out, you would still get the same quality of play. And so I
yeah,
think that that's probably something they're looking for the next transfer window. Is there
yeah,
another player out there who could also be sort of the Fletch to the Ollie Palmer
yeah.
in that
To fit in
situation?
with the
And
style of play. Not that we
the
don't have
style of
strong players, but to fit in with that style of play. Yeah,
yes, yeah. So I think that's something that we want to look
makes sense.
forward to as we go into the next set of the season. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes.
So I said before, we're heading into the international break. We've actually got 4 players that are called up to their home country teams. Moore and Broadhead are going back to the Wales team. Issa Kabore is going to play for Burkina Faso, and Libby Kakache for New Zealand.
So my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is that Wales is still in the group stages where they're
Hmm.
in the competition for their place in the World Cup, and I believe
Hmm.
that New Zealand's matches during this international break are just exhibition friendly matches, if my understanding
And
is
I think,
correct. So
and I think Burkina Faso as well.
okay.
I think
So
so. I'm not
on the
totally
Wales
sure.
front, so on the Wales front, we do have 2 more of the group stage matches before they determine who goes to the next round of the playoffs. So on Saturday, the 15th of November, they're playing against Liechtenstein. And then Tuesday, the 18th of November, they'll be against North Macedonia. And do you remember which one isn't currently higher ranked in the group? I can't remember.
I I believe Liechtenstein doesn't have any points. I don't think that
Okay.
they've won or drawn a match so far. So, and North Macedonia is second.
Okay. So a victory against both of those would put us in good position for the next round of the playoffs, I believe. Yeah.
And North Macedonia needs to also not win their first match. I don't remember who
Got
they're
it.
playing against, but
Okay.
or no, they would be playing against Belgium. So
Right.
actually, there's a good chance that they would lose. Yeah, I've not looked at numbers to see if we win both and they don't win any points, what that would be. So
Okay.
I need to do my homework.
So the international break is coming up. It also kind of coincides with sort of both of us going on international travel with the Thanksgiving holiday coming up. So
Hmm.
we'll be taking our various trips, but in the next episode, we're going to come back and give our thoughts on the season so far, as
Hmm.
well, and looking ahead to sort of the matches that we'll be facing when we return from the international break at the end of November.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for joining us this week. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
You can also email us at wxmcoffeematchup@gmail.com. All one word, that's wxmcoffeematchup@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky at wxmcoffeematchup.
From the cop to your coffee cup, that's all for today's Wrexham Coffee Matchup. Keep it brewing, keep it red, and as always, up the town.